Let's talk about Minlali's episode on Unfollowed because what a disaster, my darling. What a disaster. Hi guys, I'm Liboline, the voice of marketing and your friend in all things marketing, brand building, business mindset, and sometimes, like today, pop culture. So, you guys know I'm a big fan of Unfollowed. I think they've done a very good thing there with that show. It's Showmax showing that they actually care about the lived experience of digital citizens who are South African and how the online space affects the way that we live. For those of you who don't know, Unfollowed is a show that interviews and has conversations with people who've been cancelled by South African citizens because they've said something that people don't like or they've done something controversial, right? So that's the concept of the show. Now, a couple of weeks ago, they interviewed Minlali Damase, who is a mega influencer in South African fashion and lifestyle influencer, and she's arguably done very well for herself. I personally am a fan. I support any woman who is doing her thing and rising. I think we deserve to be on these platforms. We deserve to be getting a piece of the pie. So I love it for her and any other woman who's doing her thing, no matter how big or small. But this interview, and I use the word interview very, very deliberately, all the other conversations were conversations. Minlali's thing was an interview for me. It really came across like it was a sponsored post, if you get what I'm saying, you know? As somebody who does do PR and marketing for high profile clients, a lot of the time what we will do as an agency is get traditional media profiling for our clients, but you never want it to look like it was deliberately done unless it's something like the news or whatever, you know what I mean? But even then you want to get them interviewed on a show that aligns with what they're about, so you want it to seem as natural and as effortlessly placed as possible. I think the reason for me that it didn't seem effortlessly placed and it seemed quite contrived, it seemed very contrived, is that according to my knowledge, Minlali hasn't been cancelled by South African society, right? Yes, she's been bullied and she's been dragged, and that is the nature of being a person with a public profile in South Africa, so that's not new, right? But she has not been cancelled, so why put her on a show where they're talking to people who've been cancelled? It just seems so contrived. It makes no sense to me. The only reasonable explanation I have is that she had a publicist or a team that said, if you get on the show through these connections, then you will be able to trend because it's on traditional media. Another thing that people don't understand is that traditional media makes people who are social media famous mega famous in real life. So people who are famous online need traditional media to vet them and make them more than just a social media famous people, and so they want significant traditional media coverage. So being interviewed on a platform like that where you get 20 minutes of airtime being asked about yourself is perfect if you want your brand to transcend from social media to all media, to traditional media and social media. So for me it came across like it was bought. But also on top of that, it's my first time seeing Minlali communicate and express herself in the way that she did. I don't know who advised her, if she did get an advisor, but it came across really crass, really egotistical, and a bit ignorant, you know? And guys, when I use the word ignorant, I mean it by the dictionary definition of the word ignorant, which is lacking a knowledge of. Ignorant does not mean somebody's stupid. It means they lack a knowledge of. Minlali displayed in her interview that she lacks a knowledge of some of the topics that they were speaking about. And it was almost like she was just speaking from, you know, her feelings and whatever, like it's an Instagram live, like, oh, Sana, you know. And I don't think she treated this interview with the respect that it deserved because of the gravitas of the platform. So she really lost me there. In everything I've ever seen Minlali on, she comes across very humble, level-headed, but in this interview she came across quite arrogant and a little bit stupid as well because of the way she answered things. I think a lot of people don't understand that communication is not just in the words that you're using, it's in your body language, it's in your facial expressions, it's in so many things. The whole time she was sitting, she was doing this. But then she was also communicating that the evolution of her brand, she wants it to be more of a business brand. She wants it to be bigger than just social media. If that's what you're trying to communicate, then coming across the way you were coming across on that interview was the incorrect way to do it. And please understand that I'm not hating on the girl. I love her to bits. I just did not enjoy the way she showed up on that interview. Also, the way she was dressed for the interview, while she looked pretty, it was not appropriate for the message she was trying to communicate on that interview. So yes, it looked beautiful. It was Instagram worthy. But guys, when you are a creator, when you are a public figure, you need to dress for platform. You need to dress for the environment that you're in. Yes, we know you are known. We know you are fabulous. But if you're going to be speaking to executives, wear a suit. Okay? If you're going to be speaking at a music festival, don't come in a suit. Come looking cute with your crop top and your whatever, dress for the environment, because it communicates something about you and it allows the audience to consume you in a better way because they see you as somebody who fits the space. I think there were just too many things that were wrong. And then the way she answered the question about why are you dating a married man? For me, of all of the questions she should have been prepared for, the Leroy Sidambe one, I hope that's how you say his name, is the question she should have been the most prepared for. Right? Obviously, that's the controversy right now, that she is with a man who is allegedly getting a divorce, blah, 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 blah. But then we know this. So why didn't her team prep her for it and give her the right way to answer? I felt like it was a very clumsy answer that she gave about her relationship with the married man. And the fact that she kept leaning on the idea that, oh, but he's moved out of the house. And then Bongani, I think that's his name, the interviewer said, yeah, but he could still be married to her and just string you along. And she's like, you could be right. And it's like, okay, so